Soldier, lover, and Prince Harry's secret dad? The feud between Prince Charles and Princess Diana shook the British monarchy to its core, and James Hewitt sat at the heart of it all. James Hewitt and his twin sister, Caroline, were born in 1958 to John Alfred Hewitt and Shirley Stamp. John and Shirley had first bonded over their shared love of horse riding, a passion that they handed down to their children. The twins and their sister, Sarah, learned to ride horseback from a young age. In his book, A Love Like No Other, Hewitt wrote, "We three children grew up on ponies, and the freedom which that gave us was marvellous." Hewitt described his home life in the Irish countryside as fairly idyllic, writing, "I was lucky enough to spend my childhood in a happy and close-knit family." Hewitt later attended Millfield, a public school in Somerset. At first, he struggled here due to his dyslexia, but his headmaster encouraged him to pursue sports such as fencing, cross-country, polo, and swimming in the hopes it would also help his academics. Hewitt enjoyed and excelled at these activities and looks back on his school days with fondness. Hewitt hails from a military family. His father, John Hewitt, was a captain in the Royal Marines, and his grandfather had been an admiral in the Royal Navy. It was perhaps to be expected that Hewitt would follow in their path, although this wasn't actually his first choice of career. While at school, Hewitt hoped to become a surgeon. However, his academic scores failed to qualify him to pursue that dream, so when medicine didn't work out, he spent some time helping as an instructor at his parents' horse riding school. Ultimately, he decided he wanted something more adventurous than anything his hometown could offer, which is what eventually drew him to join the army. In A Love Like No Other, he wrote, "I went to the Army Careers Officer in Exeter, and the information I read there and the people I spoke to confirmed my feeling that a short service commission could be stimulating." This marked the beginning of an impressive military career. Hewitt attended the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst and became a cavalry officer in the Life Guards. Hewitt found the excitement he was looking for while in the military, embarking on his first tour in Germany in 1981. He later wrote, "I found the work very fulfilling. I went in a lieutenant and left as a captain and second in command of a tank squadron."
Did you give her the confidence to blossom?
I hope so.
The exact moment at which Captain James Hewitt and Princess Diana first met remains a point of contention among royal followers. According to Hewitt, however, they didn't cross paths until 1986, when the young captain and the royal attended a party thrown by Diana's lady-in-waiting. Diana was already a royal at the time. She'd married Prince Charles in 1981 and given birth to her sons, Princes William and Harry. Initially, Hewitt and Diana's relationship seemed innocent enough. They were clearly charmed by each other and began to form a friendship, but that dynamic would later evolve into something more. Diana's bodyguard, Ken Worf, later discussed his former charge's relationship with Hewitt in Diana, Closely Guarded Secret. He wrote, "Their first conversation felt natural," she said, "and it was this that sparked her attraction. As she put it, they got along famously." According to Worf, Hewitt suggested he give her riding lessons after he found out she was scared of horses. After that, well, it was off to the races. Because he was hired as Princess Diana's riding instructor, Hewitt and Diana began spending more and more time together. They got along easily and soon formed a close bond.
It was a friendship that grew and grew because two people got on very well and enjoyed each other's company.
Hewitt has also admitted that in the early days of their acquaintance, he thought his heart was safe from becoming too involved or broken. If they'd maintained a platonic friendship, things might have gone very differently. However, that closeness evolved into an affair that would shape the rest of Hewitt's life. In 1999's Love and War, he wrote, "Only one thing went wrong. We fell in love." From that point on, the pair carried out a secret relationship. In an interview with Australia's Sunday Night, Hewitt said, "Suddenly, you can't get enough of each other or see each other as much as you want." He recalled that when Diana could get away to see him, they spent many quiet nights together in the countryside. It's no secret, Princess Diana and then Prince Charles's relationship was rocky. Even before he tied the knot with Diana, Charles was having an affair with his longtime lover, Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana knew about the affair, and so she hoped to break off her relationship with Charles. Before the wedding, Diana found jewelry that Charles had planned to give to Camilla. In Diana, in her own words, she remembered, "I went upstairs, had lunch with my sisters, who were there, and I said, I can't marry him, I can't do this. This is absolutely unbelievable." By that point, however, she felt it was too late to back out of a royal engagement, and she sadly entered a very unhappy marriage with Charles. When Diana began seeing James Hewitt, it's no exaggeration to say she had a lot going on in her personal life.
In the beginning, I was unaware of the extent of her unhappiness in her marriage.
As he got closer to Diana, however, Hewitt came to understand how much she was struggling in her marriage and tried to offer support to her.
I was giving friendship and comfort and love to somebody who was looking for that.
Before long, Hewitt's military career came calling. During the 1990s, he was deployed to fight in the Gulf War, and his relationship with Princess Diana struggled due to the distance. In Diana, closely guarded secret, Ken Worf said Diana felt betrayed. He had chosen his career over her. At first, she did everything she could to prevent him from going, even threatening to speak to his commanding officer. However, Hewitt couldn't be dissuaded from completing his military duties. As he shared in James Hewitt, My True Love Story, he and Diana did spend some time together in England after he came home from the Gulf War. When it was time to return to his station in Germany, however, Hewitt's mind was with Diana and he struggled to stay focused. He recalled, "I couldn't be bothered with the mundane sort of barrack life, and perhaps I became a bit of a rebel, and I was meant to be studying for exams, which wasn't easy to do, and I couldn't concentrate." It seemed like the whole world was working against James Hewitt and Princess Diana's relationship. He was a military captain deployed overseas, and she was married to the future king with the eyes of the country on her. But while their relationship fizzled when Hewitt went to fight in the Gulf War, it didn't reach its breaking point until the affair was leaked to the press. In My True Love Story, Hewitt said, "People are unaware, and I think it's important they realize the extent of the knowledge of our relationship, which was known to the press and the authorities." After the Gulf War ended, he stayed overseas for a few weeks. He recalled, "I remember sitting down having a cup of coffee, I think, next to my tank, and someone dropped a paper on my lap with the news of our affair splashed on the front of it. From that point on, their relationship became the subject of intense public scrutiny." Speaking to Larry King, Hewitt later said that their affair had been ongoing when the news leaked, but it didn't continue long after. He said, "I think that was the beginning of the end, if you like." Hewitt claims that public scrutiny ultimately led to the end of his relationship with Princess Diana. After the demise of their affair, however, he made the details of their life even more public through his participation in a tell-all about his time with Diana. Anna Pasternak wrote and published Princess in Love in 1994. The book, which Hewitt helped to create, offered an intimate look at their time together from 1986 to 1991. According to the BBC, Hewitt was paid £300,000 for his collaboration on the manuscript. The book was released years after his and Diana's relationship, but the scandal continued to burn. What's more, the princess apparently felt quite betrayed by it. She later told Martin Bashir that she had been absolutely devastated when the book was published, worrying especially about the impact it might have had on Princes William and Harry. She went on to claim that much of the book was fantasy.
Yes, I adored him. Yes, I was in love with him. But I was very let down.
Hewitt had a difficult time picking up the pieces after his breakup with Princess Diana. He soon retired from his military career and was left struggling to find his way. On top of that, he was the subject of a lot of public interest, and much of it wasn't positive. His contribution to Princess in Love only generated even more public interest, as many saw it as a way to profit off of his connection to the royal family. It was a lot to take on at once for someone who'd only recently become a public figure. Years later, Hewitt shared with Inside Edition that he'd had thoughts of suicide during that period. He remembered one specific day when he decided to go to France with the plan to end his life once he was there. Fortunately, his mother interfered. He said, "My mother insisted on coming with me. If she hadn't, I would probably have shot myself, so I owe her my life, really." In 1997, Princess Diana died in a tragic car accident. 2 years after her death, Hewitt released a memoir, Love and War. The book details his life, career, and romance with the late princess. It offered an especially intimate look at his time with Diana, this time from his own voice. Although he'd collaborated with Anna Pasternak on Princess in Love, this book gave him the chance to set the record straight as he saw it. He told People magazine that he'd written the memoir to help himself move on, saying, "There has been so much rubbish written about me. I wanted to tell the truth." As he grew older, Hewitt republished the book under new names with additional chapters. In 2005, it was released as Moving On, and again in 2017 as A Love Like No Other, Diana and Me. Looking back on his time with Diana, Hewitt wrote, "I feel blessed that she loved me and we were able to enjoy a few short years which reached heights of happiness I have never known before or since."
Do you think that you will ever manage to convince people that you are not Prince Harry's father?
I don't know.
After the affair between James Hewitt and Princess Diana became public, rumours began to circulate about Prince Harry's parentage. Even to this day, many royal fans and conspiracy theorists wonder if Hewitt could be the true father of Prince Harry. This is mostly because, like Harry, Hewitt is red-haired. King Charles's hair, however, was brown before it turned white. In his book, Spare, Prince Harry claimed that the future king used to make jokes about his parentage. In one passage, he remembered Charles suggesting that his true father was living in the UK's most notorious psychiatric facility. identity. He allegedly told Harry, "Who knows if I'm even your real father? Maybe your real father really is in Broadmoor, darling boy." Despite all this speculation, Hewitt maintains that Charles is Prince Harry's true father. In a 2017 Channel 7 interview, Hewitt insisted that he is not Harry's biological dad. In his opinion, the rumour has yet to die down because it still sells papers and gets clicks. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.